Hi, I'm Carla Adams. Tonight I'm reading from my book, Ancestral River, A Spiritual Journey for the Living and the Dead, and I'll read chapter 1. It's called My Dream. Drenched and chilled, my husband and I placed buckets to catch roof runoff and dumped the full ones into large shipping totes to keep the building site from being swamped. It was our 5th day in the tarp shack. 26 inches fell our first 3 weeks. 3 of our 5 acres were already cleared of trees, but we removed rocks and leveled dirt to add a living area and a greenhouse to the tarp shack. My husband erected stud walls using a gas generator for power tools, while I planted a garden and orchard into rocky ground. We were surrounded by nature. A picnic cooler served as our refrigerator. A single-burner propane stove cooked food and heated water, and a foil-covered cardboard box topped with glass baked cake or bread on sunny days. The camping toilet and shower bag were half hidden behind a row of scraggly trees. Bug repellent, salve for fire ant bites, a flashlight, and bear spray were always within reach. Making a trip to bring the rest of our belongings to our homestead, we drove at dusk to escape the heat. Our repurposed school bus, dash lights flashing, slowed to a crawl on the interstate. We spent the night in the parking lot. The mechanic said, "Parts and labor will cost at least $3,500. We had already discussed a worst-case scenario. That's twice what we paid for it. What could we get as scrap? We parked a rental truck at my in-laws, where we had lived the past 4 years while helping care for my husband's aging father, loaded up, and drove 9 hours back to our homestead. Buying the old bus for our move, plus needing to rent this truck, took much of our savings, and now we need to buy another vehicle. As if hearing my thoughts, my husband said, "Don't let me buy another bus." I turned toward the window, but couldn't see through my tears. "I'd probably kill you." Pain, fever, vomiting, and diarrhea lasted days. I slept through most of 2 weeks, except to find medicinal herbs to dull the pain. As the weather turned cooler, I pulled on a pair of old jeans. They fell to the floor. Cinching them with a rope, I began to putter in the garden, too weak to work. Without the bus, we needed a four-wheel drive to make it to town in winter, but even old trucks in poor condition were expensive. My older son found us one we could pay cash for. We left our car with him, hoping it would sell to recoup the price of the truck. He called a few days later. "Does your car leak? A guy came for a test drive. It rained last night and the floors are soaked." "No, we don't need this now." I sighed. We didn't know. Bumping around on the trail to our place must have broken a seal. One day my husband said, "We won't finish the house and fireplace before winter. We can stay with my folks again to save some money. I think I can get most of my cleaning and gardening jobs back again. Let's move before it gets too cold." A week later, my husband was under the truck cussing. "The new part doesn't fit and I had to cut out the rusted piece. We can't drive the truck." I called the only person in town we knew. Our only vehicle broke down. We ordered a part that will be delivered to the post office. We have a post office box, but can the rural driver leave the package at the end of our road? The postmaster said, "No problem." Temperatures dropped. I called the postmaster again. "The truck part got lost during shipping. If we find another part at a local store or salvage yard, is there anyone in town we can hire to drive us there?" The postmaster said, "I'll take off work tomorrow and drive you wherever you need to go. How do I get to your place?" "Our trail's in bad shape. We'll meet you at the blacktop by the neighbor's mailbox." Walking 2 miles in coveralls, carrying my laptop, we arrived just as she did. We bought a few groceries, then an extra 5 gallons of propane for heat, then used the internet at the convenience store to search for the truck part. We had to order again. Returning home late afternoon, I opened the gate for the postmaster to drive through. Bright fall colors flashed from the hills surrounding the little house at the back of the clearing. She said, "It's so beautiful. I can see why you live here." We waited 10 days of overcast skies, wearing long underwear and insulated coveralls, sitting near the single burner stove, shivering. With nights below freezing, we warmed bricks, wrapped them in towels, and placed them at the foot of the air mattress. Layers of blankets under us and over us, we stayed warm from early dusk to long past dawn. My husband installed the part a few hours after we got it. We loaded the truck and left. 4 months of income and a warm house renewed our enthusiasm for our dream, and we were back at the first sign of spring, pickup and our small car. The house, garden, and a second greenhouse progressed for a few weeks, but everything cost more and took longer than planned. I said, one of us will have to look for work. Both our vehicles were old. It would be a long drive every day. My husband said, "I don't want you stuck in the dark on the hairpin curve. I'll get a job." The first day my husband left for work, sunrise was beautiful. Birds sang as I tended the garden, making it feel like a nest surrounded by trees. Looking at the garden from the afternoon shade, my gaze swept over the melons, flowers, herbs, and orchard spread before me. My dream had come true. The first week went quickly with chores and projects. I glanced at the calendar. Saturday. I bet there's a garage sale in town, but the trail will tear up the car and I shouldn't drive more than we have to. There's no extra money anyway. With summer heat and no rain, we hauled in water twice a week. I waited to make the trip in the evening when my husband was home to share the work of unloading the 5-gallon bottles that filled the bed of the truck. It was a date night. We stopped for cold drinks. I sat in the shade watching the temperature top 100 degrees. It was in the shade too. I loved growing up on a farm. My husband and I lived in the country before, and we loved it. But I always had family, school, or work. I need people. When my husband got home, I said, "How about I ride to town with you once a week to do laundry and get groceries?" In the truck stop dining room at 7 the next morning, I was still alone, but air conditioning felt wonderful. The laundromat and grocery store had air conditioning too. But every store had different people every week. I stumbled over words. I'm so used to being by myself that I can't carry a conversation. Ouch! I slapped the fire ant bite so hard it hurt. I hate those ants. As I pushed the mower over rocky ground to keep weeds from taking over, it hit a rock and stalled. I hate mowing. If living here is my dream, then why don't I love it? I miss my boys. Both had been on their own for years, but I need them. I haven't seen them for months. I've always been able to travel. Now I never have enough money to visit them. I threw the rock into the trees and started the mower. I need to see my boys. Too antsy to stay home by myself all the time, I hauled in water, spraying myself from the fill-up hose to cool off. These bottles are too heavy, and I didn't have a date night. Even in the heat, weeds flourished. Memories circled with the mower, tears streaking the dust on my face. Why did they blame me? What happened to my mind? I hate myself for getting fired. I shouldn't have sold everything when we moved. My in-laws were really nice, but living with them was so limiting. I have never fully grieved. Dad, I miss you so much. I snapped at my husband. We'll never get the fireplace built before winter at this rate. I refuse to be that cold again. There's still time. The greenhouse isn't getting done. How will we afford to eat if we can't grow most of our own food? What do you expect? I'm working all the time. We don't have enough money to build the fireplace. I'm doing all I can. I don't have time for this. Pulling the water wagon up to the orchard, I struggled to hold back tears. I felt sad and lonely so much in my life. I can't shake it this time. I need to see my boys again. I miss them so much. I passed the peach tree and 2 raspberry plants that had died last week. Stopped at an apple tree and poured a bucket of water around the base of the tree. The leaves were turning brown. It wasn't going to make it. Tears dropped on the dirt. I don't know if I'll make it. I'd waited to be an adult thinking I'd feel happy. Waited for marriage thinking I'd feel loved. And waited for a life here. But I'm still sad. That evening I said, living here isn't working for me. I can't do it anymore. I have to do whatever it takes to make me feel better inside. My husband said, I know. I'll move anywhere you think you'll be happy.